What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we're doing another rebuild on Madden 22, and today it is with the Carolina Panthers. It's an unrealistic style, and I'm laughing because, you know, I was testing the mic, just trying to see the levels a little bit, and I don't know why, I just kept saying, your grandma loves wiener, like, multiple times, and it's just so childish, dude. It's just, I love it. Well, I don't love, okay. But this is a rebuild of the Carolina Panthers where there's really no limit to what we can do. Darnold and 2 first-round picks go for Aaron Rodgers, if that's the route we want to go. Tight end, Tommy Tremble could be the starter. Thompson could be the starter. I don't even know who this is. Colin Thompson, 27 years. Anything goes. Of course, it's likely going to involve actual good moves, you know, trading for young players, trading for good players. Austin Corbett, interesting. I did not know he's going to be a decent player. Actually might even be a starter for me. But yeah, lots of needs on this team. They obviously grabbed Hecker in the offseason. Kind of their, like, only real good move that I can remember, right? Like, they kind of lost more than they gained. A couple of their corners that, you know, you maybe thought would stick around, like Stephon Gilmore. I mean, maybe he returns. I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard a single thing on him. Is he contemplating retirement? I'm not really sure what's, you know, his situation. Obviously, they lost Reddick. They did gain Ioannidis, but overall, it is a team that lost more than they gained. There's no real arguing that. I think that probably started with the trade for Sam Darnold, to be honest. The Jets, I will say, they're not, you know, maybe not the greatest drafters in the world. Technically, kind of like, you know, when you're talking about, you know, what are you know, the main goal, winning the Super Bowl, getting players, franchise players. They didn't really technically do that, but they sure as hell know how to get value out of that, right? Like, Jamal Adams was a good draft pick. They ended up turning him into 2 first-round picks. It really doesn't look like it's working out for Seattle in general for value, and obviously just for longevity of that franchise. You know, they don't have Russell Wilson. They're going to be a bottom 5 team for sure. I don't know why people, like, there was actually a couple, maybe it's just Seahawks fans, that were just, like, salty because they know the truth, but they were just, like, talking about, like, how dare you say the Seahawks are a bottom 5 roster without Russell? It's like, with Russell, I can almost argue that, you know? Like, it's just a team that really doesn't have a whole lot going for itself. It's got, like, 4 key starters, maybe, and Chris Carson, I mean, does he even count as one because he's always injured? You know, it's the 2 receivers, Russell Wilson, and, you know, technically Chris Carson. Maybe I'm trying to think of defense. Can't really think of any crazy names. You know, obviously Russell's gone now, and that would be replaced by Jamal Adams, kind of. But yeah, I mean, it's just a team. You know, we went really hard on the Seahawks here just for no reason, just because we were talking about Darnold. You know, didn't work out. Ended up getting a 2nd-round pick for him. You know, it was a bit of an overtrade, to be honest. So there's that. But, of course, for a draft class, we're going to depend on, you know, what we're actually going to do. So if we don't end up going quarterback, I probably will use a real-life draft class because I think it's a little more fun to use real classes when it's, you know, you're rebuilding a team that needs the core fun players. You know, if we need a wide receiver or, you know, an edge rusher or a quarterback, yeah. But if it's just like all we need is O-line, then it's like, it kind of doesn't matter, right? You might as well just use a random class just to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Josh Allen. And I kind of see him as, like, the white Cam Newton. Like, he really is just, like, the same kind of build. A little more accurate, of course. But, you know, I kind of just, I don't know, dude. I just want him on the team. But, honestly, I just don't think it's going to happen. Even if we traded Christian McCaffrey, I think they'd say no. I mean, that's the closest we've gotten. And it's just like, you know, it's kind of the best we can do. Don't really want to go Baker. I'll tell you that one. That's one I don't want to do. I was thinking about going for a guy like Jordan Love, who I'm a little surprised isn't normal development trade. Once again, didn't really get a chance to, you know, fully get his feet wet. But at the same time, you sit behind Rodgers for, like, you know, what, a year or two. What kind of a year or two, because we got to see him this year. You know, and you don't really show anything when you're actually playing. It's just kind of like, maybe you deserve to be normal, but I will say it intrigues me that he's star. Obviously, we do have quarterback breakouts now. But if I could even just do Darnold for Love straight up, I would do that. And they do allow us to do that. So we do get a guy that's in a little bit more of a friendly contract anyways. And we got a guy with much more upside automatically. So if we decide to actually keep Jordan Love as a starter, then fair enough, he's going to be the guy. But we do obviously still have options. I'm also kind of curious to see what the value was here. Like, could I just straight up trade for Darnold right back just for the hell of it? Like, just, I'm just kind of interested. And that's close. That's fair enough. I thought maybe I overtraded a little bit because, the overalls, but I was thinking automatically Jordan Love would require more because he's younger and star with similar overalls, but I don't know. So I kind of overtraded a little bit. Robbie Anderson, Higgins, and he pick 12 next year for A.J. Brown. I saw the second round pick and it was like not even like halfway on the bar, and then I realized pick 12's pretty high, right? But I will admit it was a next year pick, obviously. You don't really need to admit that was on the screen, but I will admit A.J. Brown is a kind of tough guy to trade for, so maybe not the craziest overvalue. It's not pick 5. It's not pick, it's not in the top 10. So, I mean, I'd say even if we tried to make this trade right here, it would actually be semi-close. I'd say it'd probably be like, it's an over trade, but it's not like by a whole lot, right? The AI also holds itself to a higher standard, so even if it's actually fair, the AI will hold it unless you have the trade, what is it called? The trade coaching things. What is it called? The trade abilities. The game will kind of just not do the trade, just in general. But we do have a big body receiver that's already developed now. We have DJ Moore. Terrace is going to be an interesting piece. I'm not really sure how he fits on this team now, but it is what it is. We're kind of in that situation. I'm kind of cool with just keeping the DTs. D-line, your tour would be, I guess, usable. Let's just try to get some value back out of these guys. Try to get a linebacker, maybe. I'm not really sure how this went, but Thomas, Luvu, and 5th round pick for Kenneth Murray and Sebastian Joseph Day. Not really saying we need Sebastian Joseph Day, but maybe. I don't know. I'm going to compare him and Ioannidis. I know Ioannidis is probably, I'd imagine, a better pass rusher, but let's see. Not by a whole lot, though, to be honest, right? Like, definitely better, but not by that crazy of a margin. But yeah, I mean, I don't really even see the value in Joseph Day. I know he's got the block shedding. That's kind of what you want him to do, but in Madden terms, is it, I don't know. It's hard to tell because in Madden, it really doesn't always matter about their pass rush ability. It seems like some of our best pass rushers that are CPU generated have been guys that don't have good pass rush abilities. It's just for some reason they do well. So do you maybe, value the play rec and awareness a little bit higher? I'm not really sure, but he is younger, I guess. That block shed is nice, like I said, with the tackling and all that. Ioannidis has been a little hit or miss for me lately, and obviously Derek Brown's a guy I want to keep. I think he's the better out of all three, but do we trade Ioannidis, who they just got in free agency? He also has an upgrade point. He's not really, finesse, might as well go with power move, right? Well, I guess we'll depend on this. If this is a really sick upgrade, maybe we'll keep him over. That is a really nice upgrade in fairness. That jumps his tackle to 87. I'm going to trade him. Now, this I do not understand. Look at this. Like, okay, we get it. Yeah, the game's pretty dumb. They give you pretty crazy evaluations. But then you go to this. What? Mekhi Becton is a freak, and he's superstar. How can you not... I don't understand how that works. I offered a third of this before knowing that Mekhi Becton was worth less. I offered a third of this in Littleton, and it was halfway. But somehow Mekhi Becton's actually obtainable. Look, I don't get that at all. Especially considering the positions. If Mekhi was a guard and Elijah was a tackle, it's okay, fair enough. I get it. The game, they're kind of valuing it based on the obvious positions. But that's not the case. I don't understand what that is. I have no idea why that trade was so easy, but I had no chance of getting Elijah without going crazy. I don't get it. I really don't. Elfline, okay, interesting. Bozeman, some very replaceable guys here, obviously. So we'll try to do that real quick. Sometimes I just feel like it's like you're playing with cheat codes on or something. We trade Bozeman and a 6 next year for Noah Igbenogany and Jeromepkr. Obviously, Baker's the automatic starter, whereas Noah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to do there because we obviously have lots of talent here. I'd be willing to play any of these corners at starter. If we have any zone coverage guys, and we don't, so it's going to maybe move one to safety, but Yeah, maybe Noah Igbenogany or CJ Henderson, because I imagine you actually have to pay him. Although that's kind of like a cheat code, right? Having to pay CJ Henderson now, which I don't think you have to anyways, I was about to say, would actually be a cheat code, because you'd be able to lock him up long term. But I suppose that just kind of means we're going to get rid of Troy Pride and Rashawn Melvin. But then even again, you're not really getting that kind of value anyway. This team loves their cornerbacks, and man, the Panthers are intriguing for next Madden. All right, it might have been an overtrade. I had Zaven Collins. Maybe it's just this year rookies that are just really highly valued or something, because I had Zaven Collins on there, and it was like halfway there. I got rid of him, and Simmons is just gone for easy money. Even though it's probably a really stupid move, I'm going to play Simmons at safety because I just want to see how he would develop at strong safety. I feel like we've used him at linebacker billions of times, but I don't remember if we've actually ever kept him at strong safety, which is, you know, something that was kind of debated a little bit when he was being drafted. He's a safety now. What the hell am I thinking? I'll put him at 41 just because it's kind of like hybrid-ish. Hybrid-ish. I'm sorry. I didn't need to do that. We don't even need linebacker anyways. I didn't even think about that. For some reason, I just thought of Shaq Thompson as Hassan Reddick, and I was like, he's not really a coverage linebacker. But then I was like, that's not him. Yeah, I just feel like the way this team's built, it really is just like a user, like a franchise user's team. Like, it just seems like that. Like, it's just, I actually like a lot of the things that the Panthers, you know, have on their roster. You got a lot of, you know, fast kind of athletic guy, well, fast physically gifted guys with their size and whatnot. But so we have a need for linemen. We have like 3 starting, well, 2 starting, 3 guys I'm okay with starting. Tight end would be interesting. Our wide receivers are all right. Don't want to get rid of Chuba Hubbard because I don't know if it's just like a high overall veteran thing, but they gave him a mentoring rookie thing, and it said long-term development. So there's a chance Hubbard could be superstar or X Factor or something by the time this preseason's over. We've seen it with linemen. We've seen it with tackles, or DTs anyways. So, I mean, I'm just going to wait it out and then maybe trade him. But, yeah, it's very interesting. I kind of want to keep Christian McCaffrey because he's just kind of a freak. Get rid of these long snapper guys. I'm sorry. It's just a long snapper doesn't really matter in Madden too much or just at all. They got a couple of linemen here that are worth a little bit of money, which I think if we're going to take the hit, this is the year to take it. So I don't know if it was possible to get even more, but Matthew Ioannidis for Dawson Knox and Deion Dawkins. I know tight ends are pretty low value in game, but I'm going to have to take a look. I don't want to redo this whole video, but I got to check to see if we don't have the trade packages thing, because I don't know how OP it is, because I haven't tested it, but like, man, it seems OP if it is, because like we're kind of getting some trades here that I just don't expect to get. Is it all? It's all in this? Is that draft pick? Wait, is there not even a? Is there even a trade thing? Oh, no, it is. Is that the thing right there? I think I just seen it. For user players. Okay, I mean, I guess not. Trading's still just kind of bad. Quarterbacks are slightly overvalued, and everyone else has got no value, pretty much. So we go Tommy Tremble, Elfline, and a third next for Eric McCoy. You guys know I love Eric McCoy in these kind of rebuild situations. You kind of move him anywhere. He's very athletic. He's got the potential to play wherever, but yeah, I mean, it's a decent pick, obviously. Any other positions that we can trade off? So we have 2 linemen with, I mean, really, either of these guys potentially playing guard, athletic enough to do this, do the job. Corbett, I'd be okay with, you know, keeping right end. Maybe a replacement is is in order. DT, Sebastian Joseph Day is not like a guaranteed guy we have to keep. Linebackers are fine for now, but once again, not guaranteed to keep all of them. We already traded Igbenogany off. Got a couple of depth players, but I mean, it's a team of guys that you definitely can replace some players, but also you got some very quality, capable starters. So you trade Rashawn Melvin, Keith Taylor, I think his name is, in a 5th next year for Joey Sly. I wanted him back, and Diami Brown. Who even is the kicker around here? Zane goes, yeah, I think we made the right call. I like Joey Sly. High kick power is all I ever care about. It's a disgusting disease, but I will never get rid of it. So we trade Christensen, Irvin, and a 6th-round pick for the 2nd-round pick from the Bills. Probably could have went for like Tremaine Edmonds or something, but we have our linebackers in order. I want to develop them and, you know, draft somebody, potentially, if it doesn't work out. Hey, Chuba Hubbard's now star dev. Started dev trade influence. So Chuba Hubbard is now star development trade. I don't think he's really worth that much, regardless of the dev trade increase. So I kind of rather just have him as a kind of a cool backup and call it a day. That would be so broken to throw against, though. Isaiah Simmons and Chin. How the hell would you even throw it deep on this team? It's too much size and speed. Playoffs, and the team was actually really good somehow. I'm not really sure how. By the way, I didn't think it was going to be that common, which I think is cool, maybe? I don't know, but the quarterback breakouts, we had 3 of them in 1 year. You're thinking, oh, wow, maybe Love is an X factor. Nope, he is not. Jordan Love is still star development trade. I have no idea how well he played, but the fact that he got so many breakout attempts and the fact that we won so many games, I gotta imagine he played all right. Of course, 13-4, not gonna have a good draft pick anyways, so I don't really care that we decided to use a CPU-generated one. But let's take a look at the numbers anyways while we're here. So Jordan Love, very good numbers. Is that good enough for Superstar? I think it's like right on the border of it. Maybe, maybe not. Hubbard didn't really play too well, but Christian McCaffrey was decent. We went with the Green Bay playbook because, once again, that's where Jordan Love played multiple years of his career. I was thinking, okay, maybe that'll be fair enough. And obviously worked out. The defense we kept the same for Carolina, and wasn't actually that great. But Joey Slye, my boy, actually there's probably going to be someone that's a huge Hecker fan or just a huge punter fan. They wanted to see the numbers. Okay, I'm not getting yelled at today. For that, at least. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. And Jordan Love at number 10. At least, hey, at least he exists. Number 6 and number 7 as well. Any award wins at all? Zaven Collins, I knew it, dude. I freaking knew it. Apparently, the user touch, even if you attempt to trade for a player, is enough to make that player great. Usually, you have to actually trade away the player, but this time, just touching that player, yeah, I mean, maybe not in that way, was enough. Of course, playing against the Saints, who also kind of usually have the same kind of scheme-ish, where they just give the ball to the running back a billion times, are the team we're playing against. Of course, we're a little bit more balanced now with the Packers playbook, but will it be too early for Jordan Love? Or maybe Jordan Love wins a Super Bowl year 1 as a full-on starter. I'm not 100% sure. It'd be really weird for the rebuild, though, if we did, because once again, we built a decent roster, but I don't really see this team as that good of a team. I don't see it as a Super Bowl year 1 team, year 1 Super Bowl team, but the Saints, they're a pretty decent team in Sim, and as you can see here, they're losing. I mean, they lost by double. We doubled their score and won. Let's take a look at the numbers. Jordan Love, very, very good game, of course. Maybe it is. I don't know what I do with this rebuild if this is a Super Bowl winning team, because once again, we traded for some decent players, but we're not even the best team in the league, at all. We're good. We've got the potential to be the best team for sure, but we're not, the best just yet. Brian Burns with a +3 to finesse. That's super fair for a guy that's already pretty damn talented. The Cowboys, a team that is almost always the NFC representative, it seems, but maybe not this time. 86 overall, we got a lot of morale boosts, and it's a good team, but the Cowboys are just kind of glitchy in-game for some reason. Let's see if we can win. Of course, Jacksonville and Kansas City on the other side. Let's see it. I mean, there's a chance. It's a chance. Of course, huge touchdown for Dallas early on. We're leading by 14 now. 21-10. Dallas almost giving up a touchdown before half. They're now down 2 touchdowns. Dallas cuts it to 1. Another 2 touchdown. Dallas isn't going away. Field goal's probably going to call it. And we're headed to the Super Bowl year 1 with this team. A Jordan Love-led Carolina Panthers team. Okay, I mean, I'm sure Sam Darnold's not super, super pissed somewhere right now. I'm just saying. Wait, Curse is 6'4"? Really? That's interesting. All right, here it is. Let's find out if we got a dev up from Jordan Love. I still think we'll probably stick with him even if we didn't. But luckily, we don't have to worry about that because he did go up in dev. I think he's, was at a 76 overall now? Of course, development trait up. And wow, I mean, that's pretty OP abilities, right? And a jukebox probably isn't super great for a guy that has basically no speed, but Jukebox and Quick Draw are not bad abilities to get at all. Very accurate, medium to short range, or short to medium range, I should say. And like I said, 76 overall if you go with the strong arm, which we will. That's not to say maybe a chance at like some crazy throw power. +3 to awareness. That is disappointing. Of course, A.J. Brown joins the Superstar Dev group. He has Short Out Elite and Runoff Elite. Those are kind of like opposite abilities, but sure, I guess. Runoff Elite is kind of, more of a deep threat type of ability. At least that's what I gather, right? Players with this ability will distract defenders for longer with their runoffs. I mean, you kind of have to, show that you're fast enough to really get the corner off the line of scrimmage, for the run, but, fair enough. 78 overall, Chuba Hubbard. Not bad, not bad. Let's take a look at the defensive side of things. Any other dev-ups? I think Baker went to star. I think he was normal development trait. But outside of Baker, I don't think we got a single dev-up, right? It's just Baker. It's a little unfortunate, but still, it's a pretty good team. Still lots of things you can develop. I was really hoping Shaq Thompson would have gotten a dev-up, but he didn't. And yeah, Jacksonville, of all teams, not the Chiefs, the Jaguars. And you can obviously tell that I wasn't really expecting this team to go this far because I kept our first-round pick. I was thinking, I was like, it's a decent team, but there's a chance we miss the playoffs. I'm going to keep our first-round pick rather than trade it for a team that's a little more guaranteed potentially. But, yeah, that kind of backfired. As you can see, we're in the Super Bowl no matter what. It's 32 or 31, and we are up by 10 now. Halftime's looking pretty promising. Ooh, Jacksonville's not going away. Up double digits, though. Jacksonville, like I said, still not going away. Only down by 3 now. Jacksonville still not going away, but they lose anyways. And the Panthers are Super Bowl champions. Year 1, the exact same touchdowns. I thought it said 343. So, I thought it was the same 342. But Jordan Love clutched it up, became a Super Bowl champion year 1. That's kind of nuts. Joey Sly really trying to cuck us over, though. More missed field goals in that game than his entire regular season. But obviously wasn't enough to deter us from the ultimate goal. And I guess the new ultimate goal has become the greatest team ever assembled. And maybe win 2 or 3 Super Bowls in a short span of time. Let's go. Hey, why did they take so long to show me some of these contracts? There was 6 guys on the list, and all of a sudden now there's like 40 of them. Joey Sly is my man. I had to bring him back. 4-year, 10.6. I love how I say he's my man, but I don't really pay him that well. He's probably like getting bottom 15 kicker money after a season like that, too. I know the Super Bowl was a little iffy, but still. Everyone else, though, I'm sorry. I get, Westry's a tall guy, but yeah, I'm not really feeling it. So, free agency, Tom Brady forgot to give him an extension with the Buccaneers yet again. But as far as free agents go, they did not keep Matthew Ioannidis. I don't really imagine there's anyone here that's going to be able to improve us other than technically Tom Brady, but you got to say technically because obviously we just won the Super Bowl with Jordan Love, so don't really need him, if you will. But yeah, I don't think we need anyone here. I think we're just going to do the draft, which even then, who do you even draft for this team? Maybe you look at cornerback just in case there's some like crazy X factor out the gate, but we only have pick 31, 32, so I guess when you think, oh, who do you even draft? I guess the automatic answer is not much, because obviously we don't really have much to draft with, so maybe you look at O-line, because Corbett's not super great. I'm going to upgrade him real quick to power. He's also a finesse type guy. It's an 82 overall, though. He kind of developed quickly here. He only got like 155 for sliders. I suppose he was only 25, but yeah, 82 overall. It's not a bad player. Dalton Knox had an okay season. Dalton Knox is obviously a guy I really like in the games. He's super fast, decently sized. But yeah, realistically, it's probably an offensive lineman, maybe DT if you don't want to keep Sebastian Joseph Day around. Linebacker Thompson. So linebacker, DT, maybe corner. And then O-line, probably the number 1 need. We trade 32 and 44 for 20. I actually was going to trade Shaq Thompson, but decided not to. I'm debating on what I want to do here. Because I didn't trade Thompson, I think I might actually pass on middle linebacker and go with this insane corner that is here, but we'll first take one look. Sean Hall, this is the guy that I was looking at, insanely fast, but from what I've seen, that 4.39 usually isn't even close to accurate. They kind of play into that 3-cone and 20-yard a little bit more than you would expect. 4.39 is just absolutely nutso mode. But there's some really good corners here too, but that's just not really a big need. I might even just go like out of left field and take a center, because there's some really insane players in this class. Like, there are some nutcases. Randy Douglas is one of those guys, and he just looks like the absolute best can't-miss player ever. Same with Eric Weston, though. I mean, you got A's across the board. I mean, he's very athletic, does kind of fit as a center, but maybe put him at guard. He's too undersized for that, but him and a linebacker is really tough to pass on, I ain't gonna lie. I think the corner is just too good. I mean, this guy is just insane. A catch, A man coverage, B press. You got to grab him. Hidden development trait, 97 speed at 6'1". I throw it around a little bit, but depending on the dev, if he's superstar or is an X factor, might be the best corner in CPU draft history, perhaps. Oh, he's so close. Do I have a third next year as well? I do not. We have like nothing next year to be accurate. Oh, that hurts, because I would like to grab this center. Do we maybe trade linebacker instead? I want to make a trade up no matter what. They don't really want Thompson. I want to make a trade up no matter what, and then whatever I trade is kind of what we go for. So if we trade a linebacker, we go for the linebacker. If we trade the guard, we go for the center. I guess we don't really have the ability to trade with the Raiders, who are going to take that center. They don't, really? And of course, they won't do the trade because they can't afford the damn trade. These Saints can never get under the cap. Stay there, please. They're going to take the center. They take a quarterback. Okay, I mean, it's kind of helping us, I suppose, but can somebody afford one of these trades? I would like one of these players, please. And it's weird that I'm not more interested in making the play for the linebacker, considering that's probably the bigger need, right? Corbett is good enough. He's 26, whereas Thompson, I believe, is 28 now. He's 28. Still not superstar. It's a bit late for that now. But I want whatever I can get, and I think the lineman's a little bit more intriguing to me because I feel like the lineman is guaranteed to be good, whereas that linebacker could be normal dev, and you're kind of taking a big step back. We also did draft a starting caliber corner, so we can definitely get rid of somebody. Troy Pride, I mean, that was probably a little bit of an overtrade, but we can still even now trade another one, so maybe that's what we do with the Packers. But we need a lineman now, as we obviously, kind of just got rid of our only guard. So Eric Weston, our only right guard. Eric Weston's the choice. Going to play right guard. Hidden development trade. Weaker than I would have thought by a little bit. I see 32 reps. I know it's 31, but I see 32 reps. I think 86 strength. So 1 rep less would still potentially be 86 for me. 85 at the worst, but I guess not. Packers do not need an outside linebacker that plays coverage. So I don't know if we're going to see them like this, but we're going to try it anyways. And, and they're broke as hell. Maybe we can make a play with a different team, though, and make a trade up. I don't know. So Thompson straight up for pick 31, apparently, is an all-green go-ahead. I didn't expect that, but sure. Let's go to the Packers now with 31. Come knocking. Maybe turn our first round this year into a next year pick. I do have a DT down there, but don't really think that's even the biggest need right now. But let's maybe just come with the second round pick and just turn that into a second next year. Like I said, maybe even a first next year, because it is a this year pick versus a next year. So we'll try. Be kind of an interesting one. Maybe if we gave him the 4th, I would make that play. That's obviously a good move for us. So if they would do it, they're close-ish. Maybe we try some other positions. Terrace. You need a wide receiver, and you also need cap room. I get that. All right, we just do it. 31 for 28 and 53 for 61 next is basically the trade. So, I mean, it's pretty even. It kind of depends on if you think the Packers are going to, just come out of nowhere and just suck next season, perhaps. Plus, you're also getting that pick here, which is going to be grabbing a player directly, a linebacker. It's a little bit risky, but Sean Hall, super fun-looking player, B tackles, C zone. It's not terrible, right? A awareness. You got some good traits in there. Please just be hidden. And he is. 91 speed, 90 excel. Pretty good change of direction. Decent enough agility. Decent enough jumping. Once again, 4.39, 91 speed. It's not really where you'd expect it, but 3 amazing players in a fantasy type rebuild. You can't really go wrong. I also scouted the DT more. What is his story? A power move. 30 reps, though. Like, that's pretty trash strength, isn't it? I mean, I'm interested, but I can't, dude. Oh, I just skipped our Mr. Relevant, didn't I? Or did we even have that pick? I thought we got rid of every single pick. I don't really care too much anyways. Once again, Mr. Relevant is literally the last pick of the draft, so thankfully that was our only pick because I sold if not. But yeah, we should see some insanely talented players. I'd say that corner is going to be like an 81. 83, dude. This guy's nuts. 84 man coverage, 76 zone, 92 jump, 74 catching. He's got 97 speed, 93 excel, 85 agility, but that doesn't really matter too much, especially if his change direction's good, which it is not shown, surprisingly. Is that normal? I feel like you normally see the change of direction on the first page. I don't know, maybe I'm just losing it today, but let's take a look at that dev, which is only star. You kind of expected that because like you can't just make him too good, right? Like, where is his change direction? 95 change direction, which once again, with change of direction being, change of direction, I don't really know what that means for agility. Like, what does agility mean in the game? I really don't know. Like, it's just, is it just for juke moves then, I suppose? But Weston, right guard, star development trait. Still another really good player, obviously. Thought he would have been a little bit better than that, but still solid enough. Imagine this is the guy with hidden. So he ended up with 83 hit power, which is just good enough to kind of scare some people. Coverage is pretty rough, I will admit, but I don't know, maybe this, like I said, this guy's the superstar or better. I don't know. Let's put him at left outside linebacker, fill in right away, and nope, he is also star. And then we got, an okayly fast tight end, right? He's got all the traits. It's not a bad pick. I know his overall sucks, but I mean, tight ends are expensive as hell, so I mean, I say that, but of course his salary is still kind of high anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's a good draft. It's obviously an amazing draft, actually. CJ Henderson's value is not great, but we were able to turn him, a 4th round this year and a 6th round next year, into potential pick 37 from the Lions. Obviously, we didn't need all those corners. Can't pay them all, and obviously he'll need a contract at some point, so maybe it's a little early to jump the gun, but obviously kind of just trying to set the roster, know exactly who we're going to have for years to come, and I think that's what we've done here. I mean, we need some depth, but outside of that, I mean, we have a full roster of ultra-talented players. Maybe could have looked at edge rusher. I really didn't pay attention to it too much, to be honest, but, here we are. All right, the year 2 team kind of improved. We kind of went a little bit younger, but it definitely improved from start to finish. Obviously, the team was a lot lower to start, and now they're a bit higher. Jordan Love is still kind of a low overall, considering, he had a really good season, went to superstar. Every skill position on offense, though, if you want to even consider tight end a skill position, if you will, in this situation, is pretty much set. I mean, honestly, the whole offense is just set, really. I mean, maybe talk about getting a different fullback or a different backup running back or something, but, I mean, the offense looks great. Defensively, you can maybe look for a new right end, maybe a new DT, but outside of that, and once again, I think the defense is pretty much set. Maybe a middle linebacker if Baker doesn't work out, doesn't develop the way we want him to this season, even though he, went to star. I mean, I think it's a really good team that does have that potential to win 2 or 3 Super Bowls in a 3 to 5 year span. It kind of depends on what we want to do, how long we want to go, and yeah, well, and we'll find out, I guess. We'll see what happens this season. All right, the big juicer contracts are ready to go. We've got 100-some million here to spend. Going to be giving Brian Burns that contract, 4-year, 78. We're going to make that a 5-year deal worth just about 100. We don't need to because it's a fantasy, but it's just smoother to go to 100. Boom, probably get it on salary, so I don't have to pay him as much. But it is what it is. Eric McCoy, that's a 5-year deal. It's all kicking off, okay? Boom. You can have it. Dawson Knox is actually kind of a fair contract, a 5-year deal worth, 45.2. And is that it? Was that it? It looks like that's it. That's perfectly fine. Another QB breakout. We won 41-21. This could be it. He's our X Factor. He is our X Factor. Woo! So it's still going to be the playoffs, but it's definitely a worse season. We ended up going 10-7, even worse than I thought. But I guess we downgraded at some positions. I don't know. I just think we got cucked over, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of how the season went. But still a postseason. Still one of the best teams in the league. And yeah, of course, looking at Jordan Love, insane season. Didn't need it, though, because he's already an X Factor. I guess that just helps get his ratings up. Dalton Knox, Packers scheme doesn't really do too well for the tight ends, unfortunately, but it's still a really good team, obviously. And do we get better numbers on the D-line? Man, we got to change the defensive scheme because we got a good team, and we just kind of don't play well on defense. But Jordan Love MVP? MVP? I don't know what that word is. Sure, but best quarterback, at least. The best quarterback in the league, it would appear. Jordan Love, killing it. Of course, so did A.J. Brown as a result of it. So a very, very solid offensive performance. Just need a little bit more from the defense. But Washington, a defense-heavy team, speaking of, going up against our offense. Well, the whole team's good. I'm actually going to change the defensive scheme right now because it's just terrible. All right, going to the end of the game. Let's see it. Back-to-back, question mark. Washington's holding us. We do get 7. Washington gets points of their own. We get another touchdown. They finally score a touchdown. Okay, game's opening up a little bit in the second quarter. Second half, we have a pretty good start. Washington just isn't going to be able to keep up with that. I mean, it's a really weird game, but ultimately we finally showed up the way we normally do and obviously pull off the victory against the Carson Wentz-led Washington Commanders. Now, of course, receiving numbers, pretty tame stuff. I suppose DJ Moore with the multiple touchdowns. Sack totals, Brian Burns. Seen a little bit better sack totals. I don't know. It's still, with the talent we have, the scheme, maybe not tapping into that talent enough, but it was still enough to win. We held them down to 19 points. I know they don't have the most prolific offense ever, but it is Madden Sim. And it just seems like no matter what, the AI always does well on offense. Throw power upgrade, not bad. I know, once again, we've shown that upgrades or abilities don't matter, but in case we come into the game, I suppose, and the game's just going to glitch out of me. Thank you. Divisional, I had to reload the game because, I tried too much. Ooh! Packers versus Panthers. Aaron Rodgers versus Jordan Love. Now, that's a story that could get spicy. This would be a juicer of a story. Of course, trading into conference is probably off the record or off the table, but we'll see. We'll see who wins. Maybe the Packers don't care. They're like, we'll still win. 7-0, 7-all. They are putting up some points early. I will admit that. They are kind of smoking us, but we're not going away just yet. Defense is sucking hard like your stepsister. 21-28, 21. Wow, are they just going to score touchdowns every time? I mean, it's... Okay. I mean, this isn't a realistic style rebuild. This isn't some speed rebuild. I can come in if it comes down to it. What's the situation? I mean, they're kind of trying to score. They're kind of not. I suppose the best case is just to do one of these things. Joseph Day really more of a run stopper, so... Don't know if we're going to be able to get after Rodgers. And then that guy... That guy with that release, dude, that throw power, the gunslinger is just broken. Now I think you come in with the blitz. Who do they get at wide receiver? Nobody. They just stuck with the original group. Well, original as you can get without Devontae, I suppose, but it's not the smartest idea, but okay, I guess. I mean, it sure as hell seems to be good enough to beat us, if you will. And, I mean, he's just going to walk free. Man, that Packers offensive line, they're freaking talented. And unfortunately, the team actually did look like they had a chance to get down the field. I know it's just completely irrelevant, but I'm just going to pretend like this is for the win. just for whatever reason. My brain's like, screw it, we'll allow it. I mean, it's a good throw. And it actually, I mean, Miami kind of held on to that quite a time. Was it Miami or is it AJ? I think it was Miami. But yeah, unfortunately, the Packers win the game over Jordan Love and the Panthers. Jordan Love did outplay Rodgers, but ultimately we do not get, well, he outplayed him because of how many rushing touchdowns they had, I suppose, but we do not get the back-to-back trips, unfortunately. Of course, their kicker missed 2 kicks as well. I mean, I don't know to tell you. We win the year 1. Year 2 is kind of a weird feeling year. I don't know if we just changed too many things up, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and despite our insanely good team, insanely high overall, we lose to the Packers. I suppose I have to accept it, but it just seems like we were destined to win this one as well. No? I don't know, but who's in the Super Bowl? It is the Packers versus the Steelers, a little Super Bowl rematch, and the winner of this one is the Green Bay Packers. So we did lose to the champions, I suppose, but yeah, it still doesn't make it much better, to be honest. Let's take a look at any dev ups. Maybe a dev up for, wow. We got X Factor for both wide receivers. A dev up for both of them in the same season. That's pretty impressive. That's amazing. Of course, we have four X Factors now on offense, which is just crazy. Defensively, a couple of upgrades here as well. As you can see, is Kenneth Murray is now a superstar. Kind of skipped over that, but you guys seen it. Chin's a superstar. And then the rookie, Sean Hall, who I feel like called Leon Hall earlier, is also superstar. So, I mean, some pretty impressive upgrades in dev. We had, 5 of them? That's not super easy to do, especially since we had 1 last year, and it was only to star, whereas this was, 3 to superstar, 2 to X Factor. That's pretty good deving. I would like to see one of the corners get a dev up, but that's fair enough. Still a really good team. Still intact. Probably looking for edge in this draft. I don't know. We traded with the Packers, didn't we? So, I mean, I suppose the trade worked out for everyone, right? It was pretty fair. All the trades. We don't have a first-round pick, though. I don't know why my brain thought we traded for a first-round pick from the Packers. And that Lions pick was literally pick 7. I think it was 37 was the thing. So, I mean, pick 7 in the second round is very fair. So, thank you, Detroit, for keeping your end of the bargain, if you will. But I guess let's go to the offseason. Maybe there's some sick edge rusher, but outside of an edge rusher, don't think I'm willing to spend too much money in free agency, if any. As far as our re-signings go that we didn't get done during the middle of the season, they're all backups, so I'm not really too worried. Actually, I'm going to keep Kamara. Free agency, you have a guy like Montez Sweat. He is an X Factor, actually. That is very fair compensation. I think this is a team that you really can't do a move like this on, but I don't care. I'm going to. Like, this is just a team where you have to lose something. You have to draft something. Maybe I'll check the scouting real quick, just see if there's any, if there's a lot of depth at edge in the draft, maybe. But I don't know, dude. This Sweat move seems like it's going to derail the team down the line, but whatever. Here we are. I just sold so hard. I completely forgot. Oh, I didn't sell. Thank you, Montez. Although you would have been a great player, I'd imagine. Thank you, Montez, for never, your friends and your free agent high money friends, never choosing me. I appreciate it, because I actually had a couple of edge rushers. I mean, they're not insanely great, but, I'd spent time, 5 minutes scouting some of these guys, and I actually found a few that I like. So, if we would have just gotten Sweat anyways, that'd have been just such a waste, because there's just no chance to get rid of edge for us for the next 4 to 5 years. So just been a huge waste of time. All right, so you guys know the drill by now. We're probably just going to go with whoever is available. I will say, Bullard is like a prototypical 3-4 beast. I really want him, but I don't know who I want more, because once again, if he is actually a power move guy rather than a finesse, that 22 bench press reps could become an issue. But obviously, 3-cone is insane. The 20 yards pretty solid. 4.6 is just fast enough. And then you have the bigger guy, Pollard, who is also 4.6, but B block shed, A power move, a bit stronger, but a little worse than 3-cone and 20 yards. So I'd imagine he's going to be a little bit slower, / a little bit less agile. Oh, and there goes Pollard. Speaking of, some of these picks coming in a little hot, so with that being said, I will be trading up to the Eagles. And just before anyone thinks I'm over trading, this is literally the thing. They're just literally the perfect trade. So, gonna be ending our draft with this one pick, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. Mr. Bullard is gonna be the choice. Please be good. Actually, to be fair, we do have right end we could trade, and he is good, just based on speed and excel, which is really all you can base it on right now. Change of direction sucks, but don't think that matters for an edge rusher, right? Like, I can't really think of that mattering in game. But okay, fair enough. Let's, we could go for a lineman. I mean, you do want to maybe avoid paying players, so if Man or Contreras is there at, like, the start of the third round, this Man guy, this man, he's a good man. He's very talented looking. We might just trade up just so we can avoid having to pay anyone, but I don't know. I can't really say much about, building the roster correctly or keeping high overalls, because last season when we were probably should have won another Super Bowl, we didn't even come close. Man is still there. Oh, man. I had to do it. I'm sorry. But let's go to Buffalo, I suppose. So we traded Gross, Matos, and Pittman for 68 this and a 4th next year. I thought he would have been a little bit higher value, but he is not, unfortunately. And with that trade, we're obviously going to make a play for pick 1 in the 3rd round. So we trade 68 this, 5th round next year for 65 and a 6th round next year. So don't really move down too much next year, and potentially even up if you think of, well, not up, but very close. We could win the Super Bowl. They could be pick 1 again for all we know. But with that pick, we're going to be taking Kevin Mann. He just looks insane. So Kevin Mann it is. Normal. Oh, I'm a little shocked by that. This is the first normal dev we've actually drafted this rebuild, I think. That's a little surprising. He's still probably going to be very good, and it's kind of the perfect pick to develop. Well, maybe not a perfect. I'd rather have him hidden whether he's starting or not. But, if he was going to start on a team or not start on a team right away, I suppose, since he's normal, this is probably the best team for that. But let's take a look at the draft recap. Could still be like a 75, 76 overall. 75, like we said. 74 for the new outside linebacker, who is going to be playing, well, I guess not really the new outside linebacker, the new right end, if you will. Take a look at his dev. Probably going to be star development trait, but still more upside than Yatur, because obviously Yatur he played pretty poorly, to be honest. Put him at number 52, and nope, he's superstar. He's better. He's automatically better. And then Kevin Mann, I don't know what position he'll end up playing, but he is good. He obviously is good. He just doesn't have hidden. I'm kind of curious, though, to see the other guy, because the other guy also was pretty decent, just wasn't as good. And here's Contreras. Yeah, weaker, faster, and of course higher dev, which literally cannot be developed in the game. You simply just cannot get dev higher than normal or star without, starting with it, unfortunately. But either way, it's still an okay draft because we were able to grab a new pass rusher who's a little more athletic, I suppose, and with a higher ceiling by a mile because he also has a higher dev. But yeah, I mean, a pretty tame offseason. I'm glad we didn't get sweat because superstar guy on a rookie deal versus X Factor guy on, like 15 plus per is a good trade-off for us. All right, so we added a new defensive tackle by removing our old one. Sebastian Joseph Day was a pretty good block shedder, but as far as getting to the quarterback goes, not super great. This Herman guy, however, a young god overall. He reminds me of Matthew Ioannidis with a much higher ceiling, which is pretty kind of crazy to think. But Jared Herman, 79 speed, 80 excel, with 90 power move, 77 block shed. This guy's a nutcase. Even if he was normal dev, I'd be happy with him. But he's actually star dev. He's only 22, and he's got 3 years left on contract, you would assume. I also imagine this guy was a first-round pick, which means probably that we can, fifth-year option him. Or, fifth-year option if we wanted. He got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Still traded him. Oh, man. I know it's like you can't always just value awards, but they probably should, right? Just to make it a little easier on the AI to know who not to trade, right? Like, if your guy wins an award, unless they're in their 30s, you probably should keep them. Probably, right? I mean, it's just, you get the rookie of the year, and he's, just entering year 2 of his rookie deal. I would recommend probably keeping him. It's just my, thoughts. And, not every team's got to follow that, motto, but I would. But, of course, the team is set unless we decide to do one more thing before, doing starting the season, which I don't really think there is anything to do here. I mean, the team just looks great. Probably should have been, a Super Bowl last year and maybe a chance to win 3 in a row this year, but we'll see if we can at least win 2. And, the team looks pretty solid, and maybe the thing we upgrade in the future is corner. But outside of that, I like it. So this might actually be our first X Factor already breakout. So 15k XP for getting the QB breakout after already being an X Factor, which is actually pretty clutch. Like, for Tua in our Dolphins franchise, I think that'd be like an upgrade and a half. All right, so another group of really expensive players to re-sign. Let us go with Mekhi. But I go with Mekhi Becton first because he's like one of those can't lose type of players. But it is a rebuild, so I'm gonna debate this. You gotta think about these things because that is a lot of money. Over 20 per for a lineman. Dante Jackson. Now that is an intriguing guy. That could be a tag. I think the tag would be like 22 to 24. We'd lose half of that on a trade, and I do want to get a better player at that position, so I don't know. We'll think about that. Mekhi Becton, I think I will just sign, and Derek Brown's a very good block shedder, so, I might as well. It's not even that bad. It's like 10 per. Just got to make sure we have enough money for, Jordan Love next season, which could be like 40 per. Might actually do, I probably have no choice but to do the 5th-year option, assuming they give us one. Was a first-round player, but he's like a weird first-round player because he hasn't really played, but, well, he has for us, but obviously, you know what I mean, real life. Don't think the game cares about that, though, so I'm not even sure what I'm at, but, yeah, you can definitely see that we're broke as hell. Realistically here, how many sacks does Mekhi Becton give up per season? Because the game also made him a power blocker, which, I get it because of the size, but he's a tackle. Kind of wanted that finesse to be better. If he's not playing that well, is there really a reason to keep him? I don't want to lose him just straight up to free agency, but look at these sack totals. That's not crazy great. I just, once again, I don't know if it's based on overall him being a 94 improves the team's chances of winning, or if his actual sack totals, matter, which, if that's the case, I'm just saying. Oh, Jordan Love's already here. Okay, that's actually probably a good thing. 23 mil left. We have to pay Kenneth, so we have to let Kenneth Murray go, without a doubt. He's a casualty to the cap. We can afford Dante or Mekhi. I think you probably tag Mekhi and just trade him off for a juicer trade, and you just draft a linebacker or something like that. Because once again, you just can't afford everyone. I think we got all the can't-lose players. Linebacker, that's replaceable. As far as, Mekhi Becton and Jackson, you can replace a tackle. You can replace a corner. Specifically the corners. We already have 2 good corners that are, they're good enough to start on their own. But, yeah, I think you just tag Mekhi. We barely made the playoffs. 10-7 as quite obviously the best team in the league without singular doubt. Don't know if we need to change the scheme again. We're still rocking Green Bay's because, once again, Jordan Love. But we do have Christian McCaffrey that we're kind of wasting. We're not really using him the way we should. But you can see here, we lost to some, not bad teams, but we lost some really important ones. Some division matchups, conference matchups in general. That's obviously not the kind of end of the season you want to have. We were on par to potentially have a bye week, but instead, we barely make the playoffs. Jordan Love, decent, just got paid, great. I will say, in Green Bay's scheme, Christian McCaffrey is still killing it, so it's not like the best way to use him. Obviously, you want to use him in the receiving game a little bit more than we have, but obviously still a pretty good year just because of rushing numbers. Bullard with 17.5, 16.5 for Burns, 10 for Brown, 9 for Herman. Went with the Chiefs defense, which does seem to come up with some pretty good sack numbers. That's impressive. As far as award wins, probably a Rookie of the Year for Bullard. don't know if we would have done anything else, though. I feel like, maybe McCaffrey at best running back. Where was he? Number 4, rookie of the year, best wide receiver. I mean, we got a couple of awards, and we're in the postseason again. But the one thing is, I don't know what I want to do if we win. If we win the Super Bowl, I don't know. If we don't win, I mean, I guess I'll do another season. But if we win, I don't really know where we go from here because we're only getting worse, kind of. And we've already won the Super Bowl, so, what's the goal? The Buccaneers are wearing the orange uniforms for this game, which is pretty slick, actually. It's the playoffs, so it's, it's kind of crazy. But 10-7, 13-7. I don't know who their quarterback was. Or is, because Tom Brady was still around. He was a free agent. I could have had him as a backup quarterback if I wanted, but yeah, I don't know if they would have re-signed him or what's the story, but 20-20, 27-20, and offense will hold on for the victory. Took out the division rivals and division champions. Madsen, the rookie quarterback, I don't know how good he was. I didn't really look at the quarterbacks because obviously Jordan Love was good enough, but speaking of Jordan Love, good enough, pretty good performance. Rushing McCaffrey was actually pretty bad. A.J. Brown clutched it. Some okay numbers from the receivers, but yeah, it was pretty much the A.J. Brown show. Sack totals, nothing to show for. Antoine Winfield Jr. with a pick. I mean, it was a pretty basic game. I mean, there's not really much to it. They just threw too many. I'm going to put no, because there's so many times people get that glitch. Well, it's not even a glitch. It's intended. You use the D-pad and it just sends you over to, yes, I did have fun. It's such a scam. And another divisional matchup. We did lose to the Falcons, but they're a whole 12 overalls lower than us. I mean, I don't know what you want from me. If we're going to lose this game, how do you beat them then? I mean, this is a super stacked team. I mean, maybe you can succeed against the defense, perhaps, but you shouldn't be able to stop this offense. I mean, at all. But they're actually doing a pretty damn good job of it, as we're only scoring 2 field goals. You do get the touchdown there. We're leading by 6. But once again, that's a pretty average score. Dang it, microphone. Freaking microphone's been loose as a goose, and I literally looked away to put the microphone in its place, and you bad microphone, and put you in. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, 28. Okay, not bad. Once again, defense limiting the opposing quarterback. Of course, all youngsters starting out here in the first 2 games we've played in the postseason. Kareem Hunt. I mean, they do actually have a couple of okay players, but I mean, look at their receivers. Look at this. I mean, this guy is sick. He's a rookie with X Factor, apparently, but still. Is that Jake Matthews still there? Jeez, man. They got to move on from him after that performance. I mean, that's got to be a telltale, right? Christian McCaffrey, that power back, 3 to trucking, puts him into 70. Of course, has no upgrade available for receiving or elusive, so, it's kind of just upgrade what you can. Dallas, ooh, this is a tough one. They're only an 88 overall, but it's still that Cowboys name. All right, going to the end of the game, huge rush by Dallas, 7-0. Of course, defense kind of holds them. Offense has a nice little clean drive. And just like that, we're up by 7. You got to just, don't worry about what happens. It's an early, right out the gate, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. As you can see here, I mean, it's just, you take it slow, play your game, and the game's never over. It really is. Holy crap. Was that 21 points in the 4th quarter? Could you kindly relax? As Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Not terrible. Rushing. Zeke Elliott, 14 for 141, 2 touchdowns, but obviously that was a 74-yarder, whereas Christian McCaffrey put up 4.7 on 25 carries, and his longest run was 10, which, you make that trade-off. It's not easy to make the trade-off, but, it's still like Christian McCaffrey's performance quite a bit. Zeke might have just gotten lucky on the defense. We always talk about blown coverages. There can be blown run block assignments, too. You bring everyone down, and the safety's napping, and, the blockers could literally spring a running back free that anyone could have run free on. Also, do we pay McCoy? Because he's been built like a finesse guy. I mean, I think we probably have our future starting tackle right there. I mean, it seems good to me, right? Sean Hall's been developed pretty well, actually. He's got decent enough coverage ratings with 83 block shed, and he's only 22. He's kind of a freak. Going up against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Of course, last time we played the Super Bowl, it was the Jaguars. Kind of wondered if they were actually in it again or not. Where are they? Wild card. I don't see them there. I don't see them there. Not the toughest opponents for them to play. I suppose we didn't either. Well, Buccaneers and Cowboys aren't the easiest to beat, I suppose. Let's take a look at the potential dev-ups. I'm trying to think offensively. I don't think we even can dev-up. Like, you can't get dev-ups for O-line. Tight end doesn't get dev-ups, and everyone else is already an X-Factor. So, yeah, I mean, there really wasn't anyone we could have dev-up. Bullard, was he already Superstar? I don't even remember. Yeah, he was Superstar, right? He was Superstar. Yeah, we didn't get a single dev-up to my knowledge, right? I think we were already juiced up, so can't really do much about that. But let's go into, honestly, potentially the last game. If we win this Super Bowl here, I mean, is there really much more we can do? It's not like we're going for 3 in a row. We've already seen, we've been in rebuilds where we've gone 3 in a row. We haven't won them, but we also can't win 3 in a row here because literally didn't get to there in year 2. All right, going to the end of the game, the Chiefs wasting no time. We also waste no time. They waste no time again. We waste no time again. Actually, we wasted a decent bit of time, but still, putting up points is all that matters. 28-17. What a score. 28-25. Field goals really ain't going to cut it. Or maybe they will. I mean, this is a close one. And 2-time Super Bowl champions, I'm going to call it. Greatest team ever. A fluke year 2 turned into a Super Bowl year 3. 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years. And the team is just so stacked. Christian McCaffrey played really well. They still have Edwards-Helaire and Juju as starters, which is a little surprising. Defensively, I mean, still got Frank Clark. Now, that's a lot surprising. Jeromepkr, I mean, there's just no way Frank Clark is a Chief in 2023. There's just no chance. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But let's take a look at some of the guys that we got. We got a lot of sick rookies. DJ Moore ended up being a very good player for us. 27 years old. 94 speed, 93 excel. Near max deep route. Near max in the catching ratings. Medium route's pretty solid. Near max in the release. A little low on the short route, but it is what it is. What kind of abilities did he get, if they even gave him? Rack him out? Actually, no, he would have already had that, so rack him up would have been the only one that he gained. McCaffrey we already looked at, but I personally didn't really look at it. I kind of glanced at trucking, and that was it. So, not like crazy great. Like, he's a good receiver, I suppose. He's very fast, decent juke move, but, juke and spin isn't that crazy, considering he's supposedly maxed. And his stiff arm is, a lot better than his truck, which, I mean, fair enough. They gave him evasive, that's right. Last Madden, he was awful with abilities. This year, he's pretty solid, actually. Jordan Love, look at his ratings. I mean, his short route sucks, but I suppose when you learn from Rodgers, that's kind of what happens. Pretty good throw, deep throwing. Just overall very accurate across the board, except for short accuracy. Break sack, whatever. Throw on the run. Didn't really learn from Rodgers, apparently. Gambler, we gave him those abilities. He didn't just get those on his own. Doesn't have escape artist. 90 improviser. How close is he? 88. Yikes. It's a bit of a yikes. A.J. Brown. Let's take a look at A.J. Brown. Better in the short route. So, I mean, we did have a balanced receiving group. This is a strong man that is just going to be able to body up anybody in the short game. O-line probably doesn't matter too much, to be honest. But Dawson Knox, pretty good route running. Still fast, obviously. Decent enough catching. What about offensive line? Was there anyone I wanted to look at? Like, how good did Weston get? He's, only played 2 seasons. He's a pretty good power guy, obviously. Maybe Dawkins, I suppose, take a look at. 30 years old. Once again, kind of built a little more for tackle, but does have one good power. Kenneth Murray, I mean, we were about to let him go, but how good did he get? He's 25. Sometimes he develops well, sometimes he doesn't. Hall, once again, we kind of looked at. What was his speed in the end? 91 speed. Didn't really get up, those kind of ratings up too much because obviously started with 91 speed, I'm pretty sure. Bullard, the rookie of the year, who had himself a really good year. 17.5 sacks, 86 finesse. Like I said, I mean, it just seems like there's certain players that are just, they have it. Like, they don't even have that great of ratings, but they just kill it. Brian Burns, 98 finesse. It's pretty insane. Let's take a look at Herman, who once again had like 90 power move to start the year. 90 power move, 80 block shed. He's pretty balanced, looking pretty good. Let's take a look at Douglas. This was a very good player in the draft, and he ends up being a 98 speed. I think he started at 97. 98 speed, 93 man coverage. I mean, that is brutal to work against. Let's take a look at Horn. Mr. J.C. Horn, 84 overall, another really good man corner. Very good press, obviously. Let's take a look at Simmons, who actually played safety this entirety for us, which I'm proud of. Of course, didn't really upgrade that zone coverage, but he's great tackler, great pursuit, solid player. Just, needs to get that zone coverage up a little bit. And then Jeremy Chin, better in the zone coverage, a little less pop, but also very fast, very athletic, very tall. And that's pretty much it for our unrealistic style rebuild of the Carolina Panthers, a team that, I was very close to being. I feel like a C4. A couple of different people were very close to being for their franchise team this year, and then when it all came down to it, they just kind of built too good of a Madden roster. There was just too much usable talent that was, already on the trajectory of being great right out the gate. There's just so many players. They did lose a few of those, so maybe that option opens up again next Madden. Darnold's a little bit less developable as well. Maybe they go with a quarterback in like the second round or something, or maybe they reach and take someone in the first. But they could be a very fun team for franchise, so don't completely knock it out. Can count them out as our franchise team next Madden or someone else's in the community. But yeah, that's going to be it. If you guys have another team you'd like to see a rebuild for, realistic or unrealistic style, some sort of, off-season move that I completely forgot about, or I don't know, maybe by the time this is up, Tyrann Mathieu signs somewhere and, it's crazy. I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, and then second channel, PKer Plays for non-Madden. And that reminds me, I need to upload on that channel. I might actually do it today. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya. Wiener and your grandma. Your grandma loves wiener.